はい、それでは。
So thank you. So I am the second presenter. So that the second topic is Japanese cultural computing. So this is the topic of my presentation. My name is Naoko Tosa from Kyoto University. So that this is, and I have already talked about art and technology, and I'd like to move on to the cultural computing. So that by utilizing interactive technologies, how can we express culture? This is what I want to emphasize. So technology can clarify structures of culture. So technology would be useful for the clarification of the cultural structure. So technology would create culture. That means when it comes to the great Buddha in the Nara, back at that time, in the 6th century, at that time, the creation of the Buddha itself is a state-of-the-art technology. So the new technologies have created new culture. This newly created culture will make a promotion to the progress of the technology, because a newly developed culture would give a stimulus to make a progress of the technology. I think there is a synergy between the technological development and the cultural development. For example, the iPhone, this is a new media, new technology, and then based upon the iPhone, the new culture will be created. So this is a good example between the interaction between the culture and the technology. So that we have done a lot of production as well as researches, and this time I published a book. And I was given this opportunity to organize a session, and the books are available, actually on sale today. So that this is cultural computing, as well as computing of the emotion, and computing of the story, and computing of the culture. So in order to cover those computing, I'd like to talk about the cultural computing. So today's topic is Japanese cultural computing. So that I think that there are 5 features of the Japanese culture. So the one is the Japanese climate, and the second is the relationship between the Japanese culture and the Asian cultures, or the connections between them. And thirdly, I think this is very unique to Japan, but this is a separation of the Buddhism and Shintoism. And Shintoism is one of the anism in Japan, and Buddhism, as they work together. So that this is a unique and the feature of the Japanese culture. So the number 4 is waka, haiku, or the poems. So that there is a culture very unique to Japan, especially in the writing system in a Manyo-kara. And number 5 is Japanese design, such as text and colors and forms. So first of all, I'd like to introduce this work or the system, so that this is a computing of the Japanese Buddhism Zen, and I'd like to show you the video.
Interculture computing. It means translation and visualization of essential aspects of culture between different people using cutting-edge interaction technologies. By developing a new method of interculture computing, utilizing advanced interaction technologies, we can offer a totally new and personal experience through which people could feel and understand other cultures that could otherwise only be understood in a logical way. Based on this interculture computing, everybody filling the gap among generations, genders and countries can have a cross-cultural understanding through enjoying the interaction like a new entertainment. We tried to realize intercultural computing, taking Zen and Japanese culture as examples. various kinds of interactive construction with rich allegory and symbolism have been the core of the Zen culture. Representative examples are ink painting, Zen dialogue, rock gardens, tea ceremony, and the kimono.
Zenetic computer.
We tried to develop an interactive system that could help us recreate ourselves by adopting Buddhist principles, Asian philosophy, and traditional Japanese culture through inspirational media of ink painting, kimono, and haiku. Recreating ourselves means our daily self meeting our hidden self through wondering about something, or in other words, our consciousness and unconsciousness melding in complete harmony. It is difficult to achieve this experience through traditional logic-based interaction. We succeeded in reaching this goal by making the above types of images the target of scientific computing.
Traveler.
これは、
So that this is a reproduction, digital reproduction of the ink painting. So that there are 12 icons that are representing different elements of the ink painting. On the top, and you can see the different icons showing different elements. So that you can select one of the elements and drag and paste on the screen, and then you can configure your own ink painting. So in the ink painting and depicting the mountains and streams, so that this is a landscape in the people's mind. This is a spiritual landscape. So a person can create his own landscape, so that he can penetrate into the world of his own spiritual landscape.
Mountain.
We have developed a 3D interactive ink painting engine by utilizing its original perspective called Sanen, where one picture has 3 viewpoints.
Bridge. Traveler.
さあ、山水に抱き込まれるように入っていきなさい。
Mountain.
ということでですね。
So I'd like to show you different things, so I will stop this so far. So next, and I'd like to show you something different. So that this is called iPlot. So this is an inspiration computing. So in a Zenic computer, we try to deal with the concept of the Zen, such as an ink painting, and I think this is a kind of an inspiration. But in Japanese, we would utilize a phrase of the interpreting the atmosphere of this occasion, so that we develop a system to detect an atmosphere on a particular occasion. So by utilizing the association of the words, and the association of the words would be connected with another association. And through those series of the association, and a kind of an atmosphere in a particular place would be detected and visualized.
じゃあそれをちょっとデモしてみます。
So I'd like to show you the demonstration of this iPlot. So first of all, This is a starting screen. Love is blind. So that this is a very poetic sentence. This is given onto the screen, and then associated so that the words would be appearing. So that love is blind, and so that surrounding these words, and you can see some kind of the related words. And then I would give another sentence. Or for example, I would give another sentence that is to be or not to be. And then so that the words related to the two sentences, to be or not to be, and the love is blind, are appearing, so that you can see of the temporal flow, and then you can get kind of the feeling of the atmosphere. And the another sentence, that is the question. So that to be or not to be, that is the question. And then so that the words and creating a very relevant atmosphere are appearing, so that the new words are colored in so that blue, and we go back, and love is blind, and this sort of sentence, and you can see the affection and romantic, so the very nice words are appearing. But when it comes to the to be or not to be, and then there is a question. When we reach that stage, so the very more serious words are appearing, such as shouldn't or should. So a change of the atmosphere is capturized and visualized through the association of words. So next, I'd like to so that we have tried something different and something newer. So that this is kasane. So that the kasane is the harmony of the colors. So that during the Heian period, so that women in the noble court are wearing 12 layers of the kimonos, and there is a strict set of the rules about the combination of the colors for the different layers. This set of the rules are determined by the gender, position, age, and the seasons. For example, those are the examples of the kasane. So that there is on the right-hand side, and there is a flower called a kiri, so that this is so the kasane, or the combination of the colors, and for the kiri on the left-hand side, and you can see another flower called a fuji. Those colors should be utilized in order to create this particular kasane. So that there are different types of the kasane appearing in the Tales of Genji. As this is an ordinary picture. So that this, and we would overlay so that the kasane of the fall season, which is called Hagi's kasane, and then we will input this kind of kasane information. On the top of that, we would overlay a kind of a traditional pattern, such as the white spotted and dye tying or the hemp nuts, and then just a regular sort of ordinary picture of the flowers, and will be transformed like this. But how about applying this technology to the Western painting? For example, how about so that applying this kasane technique to the Dari's sort of painting, and then so that this kasane is selected, and it is applied to the Dari's painting. So Japanese and the kasane technology can be utilized so that to the Western paintings. So lastly, I'd like to introduce you another tool. This is a haiku. So that the computer, so that if they are given the words, a computer will generate a haiku, Japanese, and a 17-syllable poem.
今、これはインターネットにつながっている状態。
So computer is now connected with the internet. So that, for example, so that I have to so that input two favorite words. For example, the moon. Automatically, the haiku poem was created. I try one more time. The moon. For example, the moon and the flower. So that as the epithet, so that we have a selection of the sightseeing spots in Kyoto. I would select the Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji Golden Pavilion. For example, so that this kind of a haiku poem is automatically generated by computer. And from here, so that I have selected the moon and the flower, and I'd like to try so that to create another one, so that by utilizing the same combination of the two words, but then we can get a different so the haiku poem. And then in the back, so that you can see the drawings and the background and the drawings and based upon the kasane image, a combination of the color image. So that we try to create a link, and so that we can depict the haikus, so that utilizing the tradition of the 36 and the master of the haiku on the internet, and we are making a lot of on a blog. So that how come people so that arrive at this idea of creating a blog, and this is originally from an American person's idea, so that this blog seems to be very similar to the link. So that I wanted to create something similar to the link in the blog, and we'd like to sort of introduce different rules, and then we'd like to explore the wider possibility of the new culture. Lastly, so this is a hichi haiku or and a kasane, so that by combining two tools, so that from the picture and we can create a haiku, or from the haiku, so that we can select as an appropriate picture, and then take a kasane combination would be applied, and then a new type of media will be created by utilizing two different types of the tools. And this is what I'm trying to try over all the framework is that Tales of the Genji and the computing of the Tales of Genji. So that this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.